Hey there, this is Mar Yvette, and we're here at Sage Plant-Based Cafe in Culver City. I'm with my new amigo here, Marco Antonio Regil.
What's up, Mar?
He's a fellow plant-based eater,
yes,
animal lover, Mexican TV host.
Yeah.
We have a lot in common
A lot in common. A lot of love for animals, healthy eating, friendly for the environment.
That's right.
Happy life.
It's all love.
It's all love.
So how did you, I want to talk to you a little because this interests me a great deal. How did you, when did you make the decision to go on a vegan diet? And I know people hate that word. I have producers telling me, people telling me, plant-based. I'm like, oh, it's so boring. It's so like, I'm over it. You've been doing this way before it became a trendy buzzword.
Well, I started 8 years ago when I was raised in Mexico. I was a heavy carnivore. My breakfast was bacon and eggs, and my dinner was weenies, like my mom would call them.
I was gonna say weenies as well.
Sausages with. So I was raised on a very meat-based diet, and
as most Mexicans are.
Most Mexicans, and as most of my family and most Mexicans, I was struggling with my weight most of the time, and it came to a point where the worst thing that I did for my health wasn't the Atkins diet. I went on that diet.
That's like all fat, like all
fat, all animal
protein.
Yeah, protein. Yeah. So I lost weight, and then I rebounded like crazy. And then at some point, long story short, I was really struggling with my health, and I switched to a naturopath doctor. And then I switched to a naturopath doctor. I got into yoga, and then I got a speech coach because his name is Larry Moss. He passed away. He was one of the best speech coaches in Hollywood because I didn't grow up speaking English, so I wanted to become more clear in my English and perfect my English. So he was vegan for 40 years, so he started telling me about the enormous amount of food we eat with animals in the industry and the way we were destroying the planet and using the water.
So that's how you really, and it all kind of happened at the same time.
It was like a perfect storm. They say that when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of teachers that showed up, and when I saw, for me, the deal breaker was when I watched the Glass Walls video with Paul McCartney that you can find online.
Say the name of that again?
Glass Walls. Because Paul McCartney says that if slaughterhouses had glass walls,
and you saw what was going on, you'd be like, I don't want to have any part of that.
And that's what happened to me. When I saw it, I cried. I always loved animals, dogs and cats.
But
and
you
birds.
didn't really put it together, right? When you get the packaged, steak or like this is all vegan.
I did not connect a piece of steak with a part of the flesh of a cow. And I thought that the word killed, but I'd never really reflected on that.
You don't think about the suffering or that the animal has feelings.
And you buy the products and you see the happy cows grazing on the mountains or something.
Or in the carniceria, it's always a picture of the pig.
Yeah, carnitas.
And the chicken.
In Mexico, you see carnitas and there's a dancing pig. So it's all that's marketing that doesn't really portray what's happening behind the scenes. And it's not the way animals were raised and killed 40 years ago. Now it's industrialized. It's mass production. So it's like money.
And it's not about humane treatment. It's you have to feed people, you have to make a profit, you have to do it cheaply, and you have to do it fast.
So it's not healthy for us. It's super cruel to the animals, and also it's cruel to the people who are working there. A lot of them are immigrants. A lot of them are immigrants working 8, 10, 12 hours for under minimum salary. And they're having to do very cruel things to these animals.
It's desensitizing.
Exactly.
And dehumanizing.
What kind of parent are you going to be when you go back home after doing horrible things to animals for 12 hours a day? What kind of a husband you're going to be? So we want to eradicate violence. I think it's not about animals. It's about being peaceful. So I'm aligned with anything that has to do with peace. So anything that divides us, it makes us hate each other, whether it's for your religion, your race, your political views, your eating habits, your nationality. I'm in favor of peace. So this is not peaceful for the planet, not peaceful for us, not peaceful for the animals, not peaceful for the workers. It just is not sustainable.
What do you think about people, like, I get this a lot too, is like, growing up Mexican and, in the Catholic Church, this is the beginning part of my life. But it's in the Bible. God says that, we're to eat the animals. We're in charge.
Well, but in the Garden of Eden, the Bible, as we know, if you want to find something, you can find something that is going to be against gay people and in favor of gay people, against animals in favor of animals. When they say that, well, look at the Genesis. The ideal place was us in the Genesis, right, in paradise, where there was no killing.
That's right.
It was fruits and vegetables. And before the cave era, I'm a big fan of National Geographic, and I have friends who work for National Geographic, and they told me this many times. Before the cave stage of humans, we were in the jungles. So before migration started, and before we started hunting, we were in the jungles eating fruits and vegetables. And even when the hunting began, it was like a big event. Going and hunting an animal, and they would eat like little pieces of meat for just one day, but their diet, even the caveman, was based on plants, not on
It's
not
mostly
meat.
that, and we've created the reverse, where it's like, it's not a meal unless there's a steak there. It's not a meal unless there's meat.
It's the other way around.
This is not food.
NPR News, I was listening to the radio, NPR News said the other day that from the 60s to the 2000s, the American average person is eating 300% more meat.
It's so crazy.
And that uses a lot of water.
It's so crazy.
So we're feeding the animals and using a lot of water to feed animals so we can eat a little bit when we could be directly skipping the animals and feeding the whole world with a low percentage of what we feed to the animals.
And then some people will say, oh, but then we're having an overpopulation of cows and pigs.
Well,
and
we're
chickens.
creating them. We're creating them. And by creating them and killing the forests, we're killing the other animals, the ones that are naturally there, the ones that God created and put there for the balance of the planet.
Yeah.
But now we're killing all the environment, we're killing the Amazon, we're chopping down the trees to grow crops and grow
We're screwed,
talent.
people. We're screwed.
It's artificial. We're eating up our planet.
We
We're
are.
eating up our planet.
We're
I mean, we
destroying
would
it.
need like 3 planet Earths to feed the whole world if the whole world ate like the U.S. and China and India are
And
getting
more
influenced
people
by that.
more and more people globally are eating like this, like
Because
the American
all
diet.
the
So what is the
fast food
solution?
franchises.
More vegan, and more
Going
people
back to
are
basics.
becoming,
Going back to basics. Fruits and vegetables and grains are our base foods. So even if you don't want to go plant-based, like Bill Clinton, like
Yeah.
Natalie Portman, like you and I, like
Yeah.
many other people are doing it, just minimize it.
Yeah,
Just minimize
I think
it.
people are learning too that that's just healthier and you just feel better.
And
You
there's-
don't have to have a steak at every meal.
No, and you can have your protein from vegetables. You can have delicious things like here at Sage or here in LA, Cafe Gratitude, Gracias
Oh, we
Matre,
have a
and many
million
other restaurants.
crossroads. We have a million different restaurants.
There's almond milk, coconut milk, rice
and
milk, hemp milk.
the Thai cuisine, Mexican diet,
Yeah.
Mediterranean for
Yeah.
sure. You can find ways to eliminate the butter, the cream, the milk.
You can go to Chipotle and have a burrito made out of veggies
Yeah.
and a lot of beans, and beans have protein, and you have the sofritas that they sell.
Yes, the
which is
organic tofu.
It's organic tofu, and it has protein
It's
in it.
delicious. I
So
love it.
you can go. It's a myth that you have to spend more money to be vegan. Actually,
You
it's
spend
more,
less.
It's more expensive
Yeah.
to get the meat. Nothing's
Yeah.
going to cost like steak or salmon
Yeah,
or
that's right.
tuna. So and you're investing in your health. Sometimes buying organic food is going to be more expensive,
Yeah.
but you're going to save on drugs. You're not going to
Later
have
in life.
to go to the hospital later.
It's preventative. So
I
you,
didn't take a single pill, and I was addicted to antibiotics. You know, in Mexico they sell them off of the counter
Oh, yeah.
like nobody's business. I was taking antibiotics, suppressants, vaccines for flu, all of that stuff. I haven't taken a single one of those. Do I get sick? Rarely I get sick, and if I get sick, I recover in 3-4 days.
you've detoxed yourself through food.
Exactly.
Food is healing. So you're so passionate about
Medicine,
food.
right.
Food is medicine. You're also very passionate about politics and what's going on. There's a lot going on. You know, we got the presidential race that's going to be coming up
Yes.
sooner than later, and there's
Yes.
already all this talk. And Donald Trump recently, his whole
Yeah.
drama about Mexican immigrants, they're rapists, and,
Yeah.
whatever crap
Tim
he said.
McCain.
Yeah.
In Obama's birth certificate.
And yet, yeah, right. And yet, of course, he seems to be surging in the polls, or at least the stuff that they're presenting out there, that he's popular because he just tells it like it is. He's saying things that people are afraid to say, and he doesn't apologize.
Yeah.
Because people love it when you don't apologize. And he's actually visiting the border,
Yeah.
the Texas-Mexico border thing. When you heard what he had said, what was your response to that? What do you think about that? Was he just trying to get a rise out of people and get some attention? Because no publicity, bad publicity is good publicity.
I think that he's saying what he believes in, and he's giving a voice to a lot of people because as we are seeing, he has been, great in the polls on the Republican Party. Not all Republicans think like that.
No.
There was a letter from the Latino Republicans to him.
Yeah.
Jeb Bush that disagrees with him, and a lot of
Yeah.
other candidates disagree. But within the Republican Party, I mean, I have family who's Republican and
Yeah.
they don't agree with him.
Yeah.
I have friends who are Republicans don't agree with him, and then I have few that are more like the Tea Party, the extreme right, that are the ones that are really afraid of immigration. They're really afraid of the U.S. becoming brown.
Yeah.
They're really afraid of
It's a little too late for that, people.
I know. But he's giving a voice to that segment of the population.
Yes.
I think that, of course, what he said is it's just the other way around. Is it true that there's criminals coming from the border? Is it true that Mexico has corruption? Of course it's true.
Yeah.
But what he said was that they're rapists and criminals, and some of them, I assume, he's not right, are good people. It's the other way around.
Right.
Most of the people,
for the most part, hardworking, looking for a better
people,
life.
just desperate, trying to survive, and we would do the same thing if we were in their
That's
shoes.
right.
They're heroes to me. If you're starving and you're in a place that has violence and social injustice, and you're desperate and you love your mother or your kids or your family, you would do whatever it takes. So why blame it on those guys? Now, is there crime? Yes, but it's the other way around. Most people are good, and some of them
There
are
are a few
criminals.
bad apples, but it doesn't ruin the
It's
whole
just the other
barrel.
way around.
Yeah.
And we don't want criminals here or there or anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's just not the way to talk about those things. I want to see a leader, whether it's Republican or Democrat. I'm in between, and I could vote either way, depending on
It's about
what
the person and
situation
what they
is.
believe in, right?
Exactly. I want someone who can bring us together, not someone who's going to inspire us to hate
To hate each other
To
and
hate
be
each other.
divisive. It's like there's this
No.
one group. Here's a segment of the
And
population.
now he's running it's in a
That's
game. And
scary.
and the birth certificate thing is just the kind of leadership that is Jeff Bush, Republican, said it. He's striking fear on Americans' hearts, and that is not what I want. Anything that comes from fear
I was just gonna say
is not what
it's
inspires
either fear
me.
or love. And
cannot exist.
we're in a culture of fear.
Yeah.
That's what's what's going to happen. Is everything going to be okay? And are they going to come and take my land or take my job? Or it's pitting people. It's competition versus cooperation and working together and being all inclusive. Like we can get this is humanity. We can get through this
We
together.
need to come together.
Yeah.
We need to come together, and
Including the animals,
including animals, including everyone.
the environment. We're all.
We are
you
one.
believe we're all one.
It's all one.
We're all
connected.
Yes.
And that's the new consciousness
I
that's
totally
coming.
agree. I mean,
We're all one.
it is, whether I believe you or agree with you or not, it's true.
What affects you affects me.
It's
and
true.
we can talk about it. I'm glad that we don't all think it the same way, so we can all have intelligent conversations, but not divisive conversations. And the problem is that immigrants, we know that if they had the opportunities that they deserve, they would stay in Mexico.
That's what I say. Give them a better life where they're born, where they are, and they have no desire to go somewhere
So
else.
we can create opportunities down in Mexico.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of these huge corporations that are doing business, and they're creating more poor people. Why? Because they have abusive practices that have subsidies from the government, and they're making more people here in the U.S. and in Mexico and Latin America. I'm not saying they are the only ones responsible.
Right.
We are all connected.
Part of the problem.
We have all done a lot of things. But Donald Trump, with his leadership, could really invite companies that go to do business in Mexico to keep some of the money in Mexico, some of it, not all of it, some of the money in Mexico, reinvest it, create opportunities where people can not give it for free, create lines of credit, create financial education, so
Create
people
a sustainable lifestyle.
so they can become entrepreneurs and they can become business owners. So we could do amazing things. I've been teaching financial literacy for 10 years, and that's what I teach. I teach empowerment. I don't teach about people just asking for the government. What I love teaching.
You're not about handouts. You're about empowering people.
No, not at all. I'm about people creating their own thing. But instead of building a wall, why don't we create the opportunities down there, and they would not want to come here because they love their land.
Yeah,
they're
they love where they
Oaxaca and Michoacan and Guatemala, and they love their culture, their beliefs, their people, their ceremonies, their art, their beauty. They're coming here speaking of their language, because Spanish is most of the time the second language, because they speak their own dialect.
Yes, you're right.
And they come here as a third language entrepreneur who's going for everything without any guarantee. We have a lot to learn, and we have a lot of respect for them. But let's talk about the immigration broken system, but not by saying that people are criminals and that some of them are decent people. No,
I think it's just fast, cheap talk, and it gets people,
it's divided.
excited. Yeah.
It's divided. We need a president that brings us all together. It's not easy because we're very polarized.
Yeah.
But we need that kind of leadership.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm hearing. Now he's going against McCain. Now he's going.
He's always got an enemy.
It's
He's always got an enemy.
Everyone is the enemy.
Okay, so tell me about career. How did you end up here, other than me inviting you?
Well, this is my 30th anniversary as a TV and radio host. So
100 Latinos Dijeron.
Yeah, we're doing Family Feud.
On Mundo Fox, which
Mundo
is like
Fox.
the Mexican Family Feud, which is
not Mexican, Latino family.
Latino family. Everybody's Mexican to me.
100 Latinos in here. No, Guatemala, Salvador, Colombia.
I have love for all my Latinos
No.
and all my non-Latinos. It is such a fun show, and I have to say, so you grew up speaking Spanish, and then 5 years ago,
I was raised in Tijuana, on the border, watching the Family Feud with Richard Dawson. It was my favorite game show.
And he kissed
I
every
manifested.
single damn woman.
I know.
You don't do that.
No, I would be in jail.
I mean, he probably had
Sexual
mono,
harassment.
honestly. It's gross. But you grew up speaking Spanish. I grew up speaking English. Now I'm trying to improve my Spanish, and I'm doing it by watching you and your show.
And I used to watch the Family Feud to
How
learn
crazy
English.
is that? That's
Because it's a
hysterical.
great show to learn a second language because
It's
we
so
repeat
fun.
we repeat the questions, we repeat
Yes.
the answers. So it's Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. on Mundo Box, which in LA is channel 22, and it's all over the US. So, but before that, I started, my grandfather was one of the founders of Radio Mexico. He was an engineer.
okay.
So the house that I grew up in, my mom was divorced and a single mom, hard-working
Okay.
woman.
Yeah, brothers and sisters?
Yeah, brothers, two brothers, half brothers. And my mom was a sales coach for Avon. So she was a public speaker. And my
okay.
grandfather had a radio station in the house. So since I was little, I would grab anything and pretend it was a microphone. So I had it since
So even before you even knew that it was a career.
I would spend
path.
hours pretending that I was a radio DJ in the house. I had a speaker, I had a microphone, I would close the door and had a radio.
Was it because you were just in love with the sound of your own voice?
No, I just like
You want
public
to
speaking.
communicate.
I was, I would
wanted to-
grab the seatbelt of the car. Back in the day when kids didn't use the seatbelts, like.
So what was your first big break?
My first big break was when I was 15 years old. I was in a little town in Mexico called Obregón,
Okay.
which is in Sonora, south of Arizona, and I won an amateur competition that the only FM station in the city was organizing. They were looking for a new voice.
Okay.
It ended up that it wasn't that they were looking for a new voice, it was just a promotion.
Oh,
But I won, and I took it very seriously, and they couldn't get rid of me. So I was there, I worked for free for a very long time.
Oh my God, I know what that's like.
We all know it.
I totally know what that's
In
like.
communications,
Yes.
we all end up working for free, doing what nobody else wants to do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I was an apprentice. I did it the old-fashioned way. I was an apprentice, and so I got my radio show. From radio, I moved to Tijuana, and then I got in a bigger radio station, and then in a local TV. From local TV, I went
So
to
from radio went to TV.
local, yeah, in Tijuana, bigger market, San Diego,
Yeah.
Tijuana,
Yeah.
Radio Latina. I was there, and then Channel 12, which is Televisa, and partner.
And was it always like sort of lifestyle stuff, or was it like heavy politics and hard news?
I was a DJ. Radio DJ was music. It was
Yeah.
music and fun, and I had a comedy show.
Okay.
I was a little kid, so
Yeah.
I was just having fun. Then I went to Mexico City, and I did more music, radio, and then I started hosting events. I was a very important producer back in the day in Mexico, Raul Velasco, who used to be a living legend. He gave me my first break on an international festival, and started hosting there. And long story short.
You mean like a live event host?
Yeah, the Festival Acapulco. The host got sick, and he knew me from radio, and he gave me my first break, and we were on primetime Univision and Televisa. And
That's like a movie. It's like, oh my God, the
12
lead,
years
the lead
later.
got sick.
12 years later.
So it was a 12-year overnight success.
Yeah. So when I started on TV, people would say like, "Oh my God, you look like you've been doing it for a while." I've been doing it for a while. I did this radio for 12 years.
It just wasn't on such a public platform.
It was the perfect school because in the smaller platform is when you get to make your mistakes and learn.
That's exactly right. Opa.
Opa.
Yeah.
You get to learn, and I'm really grateful for having started in a small town because I had to do everything. Everything. I
Well,
would
I was gonna
edit.
say, learn as much as possible. Know
I would
everything.
sail. I would edit. I would
Know it
do
inside
everything.
out. Yeah.
Everything was me. So 12 years later, I get my big break. Price is Right, then Family Feud, then Fifth Grader.
And did you have to apply to that, or you had,
I casted.
agent?
I casted many times, and until I got one, and I got the Price is Right. I got the Wheel of Fortune when they were going to do it, and like 2 months before the air, they got rid of me and they put another host, and the show failed. And then I got Price is Right, and then after that, it's all been amazing.
So is this bigger than anything that you could have dreamed, or is this kind of like
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
what you've
I'm very
manifested
grateful.
for yourself?
I'm grateful, and now I'm going into a deeper part of my career.
You're writing a book.
I'm writing a book. I'm finishing my master's in spiritual psychology.
Is it about spiritual psychology, or
It's
what
about
is it
life lessons. It's about growth and life lessons. I've been teaching the Robert Kiyosaki curriculum, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Financial Freedom, for 10 years in Mexico and here with the Latino community.
So you go out and you do that.
I'm doing what my mother did. My mother was a salesperson. She was a trainer. So now I'm back doing what my mom did, and I have a hybrid career. And now by writing my book and creating digital content, and I would love to have a talk show in English and Spanish where we, in a fun way, we can empower people. In a fun way.
In a fun way, that's the key.
So Steve Harvey's doing it.
Yeah.
He's a kid
With
great
his
example.
books about, like, what is it? I don't know, his
He has
thing, like,
radio, he has
act like
the
a
Family
man, think
Feud.
like a woman, or whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
I mean, Oprah is the biggest example of course.
Yeah.
Ellen has done amazing things. So there's always new consciousness, and I just think that there's an opportunity for a Latino voice in the mix. We have African Americans, we have white people,
We need more
we have
brown.
gay. We need a
more
Latino.
brown. We need more Latino power. That's so funny.
So that's a dream.
I just started I'm about to start. I just started a new site called Homegirl Talk. You know Homegirl. We just keep it
Homegirl.
real, right? Homeboys too. And I'm going to be starting a podcast with my girlfriend, and it is this very thing, which I love fun. I love, being silly and wacky and doing all of that. But especially as you get older, I think you just realize, and it's very in tune with what you're saying is the larger consciousness, which is like, it's about empowering. It's about not feeling like you're an outsider. It's like you're welcome. You can bring people in, and you can do whatever it is that you want to do, and you have it inside of you to make that happen.
And it's beautiful that now we all have this opportunity of using social media
Yes.
and becoming, the new stars, the new people
all
are getting all the
online.
credibility.
Yeah.
There's people on YouTube that have millions of
Millions and
followers.
millions,
And
yeah.
that's amazing
Yeah.
because they don't have to go through the filter of casting and doing all of that.
You're doing it on your own. It's all DIY.
So it's amazing, and I'm going into digital too, and we're all going there. And I'm really happy at the times I get to live. And this is the time
It's
for
a very
empowerment.
exciting time. Very
Bilingual, empowerment, Latinos, but not about Latinos. It's about all coming together.
You
The
just-
African Americans.
You
the
just
white
happen to be Latino. I just happen to be Latino. So you're either gonna, what are you gonna do? Deny it, or you're gonna embrace it and use that as an empowering tool. And like you said, it's not just for brown people. It's for everybody. But isn't it great that you are a brown person? I'm talking with you. This probably wouldn't have happened 10 years ago. Within our lifetime, maybe even 5. And I feel like it's just gonna happen more and more and more.
Totally agree with that. And there's a new consciousness.
And I think it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful. We have the opportunity. I think we're in the point of human history where either we become consciousness or we're gonna disappear as a species. I know that might sound really dramatic, but if we keep eating up our environment, our own home, contaminating our planet, it's the only place we have, we won't be here for a longer time.
not gonna
So,
last.
and if that happens in the spiritual context and the universe, it's okay. It's just a growing pain from the standpoint of the universe. But as a species, we could survive. And the only way we're going to survive is by coming together.
Coming together. I
And
agree.
tolerance. We're not going to be all from the same religion. We're not going to be from the same color skin. We're not going to be the
That's
same
never gonna
education.
happen.
We need to accept and learn to live with each other.
And understand that it doesn't jeopardize who you are.
No.
It's not going to ruin anything for you.
There's one thing very important, and I would love to leave you with this. Loving is not a requirement. I'm sorry. I'm teaching you the deal. Agreeing is not a requirement for loving. Agreeing is not a requirement for loving. There's no way we're all going to agree on everything.
It's just never gonna
But I can still love you even if we disagree. And if I come from loving, I'm going to talk to you about our differences in a very different way than if I go into
Right.
hating you because we're different. So, again, agreeing is not a requirement for loving. Liking is not a requirement for loving. I can love without liking.
That's right.
Because my liking comes from the mind.
Just think of
Loving
your
comes from
family
the heart.
members.
Yeah. How many people in your family you don't really like?
But you love
you
them
agree?
because they're your family.
Man, well, but the thing is that we are all family.
But that's the bigger thinking, is that we are all family.
We are one. We're the same thing. We come from the same God, from the same universe, from the same
We
dust.
breathe the same air,
We
we're all
have it
part
in
of
our.
the same atoms and
It's the same molecules.
molecules and all
Yeah, and it's all one.
I love it. Thank you, Marco. So good to meet you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone.